Esports has just become a huge industry. In many ways, it's bigger than traditional sports. And traditional sports has been a huge driver of live broadcast. And in turn, live broadcast is a huge driver of TV consumption and revenues. So you can see that anything that is growing live production, growing live consumption of content, and then doing it for a new audience, a younger audience that maybe is harder to reach for the traditional media industries. There's a lot of excitement about what esports means for the industry because of that.
Esports is evolving with the demand of the audience, wanting more and more content, of course. The more investment that comes into that, the more professional the environments get, and the more diversity becomes within the environment as well. So the types of content that we're seeing and the places that content is being viewed is growing, and that's really demanding on the people producing and distributing that content.
It's about broadcasters and manufacturers like us trying to understand how esports work and what their challenges are. And some of that workflow is just different because of the style of the show. So in a football match, you can't have a camera following a player around the pitch. It's just not practical. But in an esports game, you can do that because it's virtualized, and you can follow the audio of individual players or individual characters within the game space. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that esports is one big topic, but actually just like tennis and football are very different, two esports games can be quite different. You can have one esports game with 100 players and then another one with two teams of two. And the challenges are different for those things. So it's about just understanding the game and actually understanding the environment that it's living in.
Esports is like many other types of live productions all at once. For example, you see esports a lot like a sporting event. So you're looking at if that from point of view, so it's a lot like live sports. But also you see it in like a stadium event where you've got a lot of people in a stadium that are watching, and you've got a big screen. So that's not like a broadcast, so they may stream that as well. It's another type of broadcast. I don't know if there's any one type of event other than esports that spans all those different types of production requirements.
It's obviously a rising phenomenon here in the broadcast world that traditional broadcasters might not know as much about. So the emphasis on it at IBC is super important. The numbers for esports speak for themselves, right? Esports events are getting 22 million viewers over the course of a weekend. They're getting 2 million concurrent viewers. These numbers are staggering compared to traditional sports.
Esports is amazing. If you look at how it's grown in the last few years even, it's massive. So everybody is looking at it thinking we need to be part of that.
I think we're going to see esports is going to become one of the more dominant sporting events in the broadcast industry. You know, being able to watch people play sports is important, but being able to have somebody play esports in a tournament, and then somebody else who owns the game can try to reproduce it, or can try to learn from it, or can apply that to their daily thing, you're just going to see that growth.
Esports doesn't seem to really know any limits right now. When we started, people would say, well, maybe our equipment in broadcast is too expensive for esports because it's just a small streaming thing, isn't it? And as their fame has been growing and the fan base has been growing, they're now going beyond just the sorts of things we already do. And you know what? They're so new, they don't even seem to care whether or not we've done it before. They're just demanding it, and it's great for us as manufacturers as well to cater to that need and learn along with them.
We're talking about esports, I think it's a rocket ship. I think it's going one way and it's going up.